All right, how is everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel. This channel is for educational purposes, and we check into things that the powers that be don't want you to know about, things that you have to dig for, um, and if you do, it will benefit you in terms of your spiritual, mental, and physical health. And this is a segment we have called the Q-tip of the spear, where we look at the info war and muse over um, some of those who cover the tip of the spear, cover the cutting edge of the info war. The war between the sovereign patriot and the globalists. I believe that war is over and that the globalists have been defeated. But we are currently watching mop up stage, and um, I think there is some type of full control going on, and the patriots are reenacting events for public consumption, things that the public wouldn't have been able to understand unless they were conveyed to them in, kind of a narrative, uh, TV-like format. And so naturally, the events are increasingly stupid and crass, and the events are nonsensical and not for us. These events are not for us, and that's why I recommend not paying attention to them because um, they will just get you upset and off balance because they're really pretty much designed to get you upset, but they're really to get other people upset. People that really won't uh, be motivated unless they're upset. Most of the patriots that would be, um, following the 17th letter and so on, they are more or less motivated already. But there are a large percentage of people that are still comatose and just kind of sleepwalking through things, and they think that they're informed because they read the headlines of the newspaper or they listen to 5 minutes of NPR while they're driving home or something. And these are the people that have to be outraged by the blatantness of the activities. And they also have been infected with um, cognitive dissonance. And so if you just show them something that is kind of ho hum or even something that's relatively obvious, it won't affect them. They'll just slough it off as um, they'll come up with some type of excuse in their mind to be able to explain it away. Um, but if it's just blatant, like and right in front of your face, that's how they get shocked. And so a lot of the events that are being portrayed are like that. Usually, the events, when they are portrayed like that, will um, have a 17 communication in them, which is usually pretty blatant too. Once you see it, they've been talking about some tornado, I think, that happened in Oklahoma today, yesterday, and certainly, uh, there are. real people that are involved in this and that have been hurt by this. And I'm not going to make light of that. And it's a terrible tragedy. Um, but the communication on the clip that I saw was 17 people injured and 17,000 people without power. I also saw the hantavirus one, which was 17 Americans on the ship. Um, so that's the signature um, that you look for. Um, and it can be 17 permutated in other ways too, but usually it's just the straight 1 7, I think. And um, that is the signature that you're supposed to kind of look for to recognize that this is not exactly what it's portrayed to be. Um, Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a white hat op. I think some of them could have started out as black hat ops and have been taken control. The white hats have taken control. Some of them might be white hat ops all the way because they are kind of repeating a lot of the same things that we had going on over the past 10 years that kind of didn't end up satisfactorily. And like the COVID vaccine, the COVID pandemic, and the the Piedmont, well, no, really the mountains, Asheville, uh, and that whole tornado that barged right through 500 or not even a tornado, a hurricane that barged through like several hundred miles of land in order to attack Asheville. Um, so those kind of things uh, are maybe coming up again, and they're going to be repeated, um, and hopefully the result will be different, or the result will be different because of certain factors, or um, who actually knows. But it I can't tell you how these things are going to resolve, but I can tell you to pay attention to them because they're going to be telling. However they resolve, it's going to be telling. It's going to be something that you can use as a gauge to kind of figure out where we're at, what's actually going on. Now, the the bad part is that um, and I've heard some patriots say this, and I just have to disagree, is that, well, if the white hats are in on it and they're just kind of dog walking us into the slaughter or into some dystopia, well, then, we lose because, you know, um, we were had and we bought into it. And from the perspective of a person who's been uh, red pilled for almost 40 years, um, and was red pilled when I was the only person that I knew that was going through this affliction, and feeling like I've been wandering through the jungle by myself for a very long time. I'm not going to go down um, because a group, uh, as a group decision, because a group bought into something. I'm going to try to remain light on my feet and pivot and not give up, even if the um, white hats turn out to be black hats, which is possible because they're pandering to the patriots about Christianity. They're pretending like Christianity is legitimate, and it isn't. it's a psychological operation just like everything else. And but the boss in the 17th letter kind of pander to it. They know better. I guarantee it. Um, so they need to be confronted about it. Okay. Uh, we talk about that almost every episode. So you can come back if that interests you. You can watch any of the prior videos that I've done over the last year, and that's probably the subject matter. Okay, like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute, and we will see you next time on the Q-tip of the spear. Thanks, and have a great day.